And welcome in or welcome back. This is Sound Wisdom Tarot with me, Shannon Rose Scott, and this is your coffee cup reading. So here we go. Let's get into it. Okay. Wow. Okay. So normally I save the saucer for last, but I actually am seeing right away this moon symbol. This moon symbol on the saucer. Here, let me put the cup down for a second. Yeah, let's start right here. Look at this beautiful moon. That's like almost like you'd see in a children's book. I love that. Okay, so the moon is showing an incredibly powerful symbol right now. And so whenever you happen upon this reading, because these readings are timeless, do note the stage of the moon that is being expressed at the current time. And by that, I mean whether it's waxing, waning, full, new, or any of its other phases, as well as what sign it's in. This is also calling you to do some moon rituals. Now, this moon is not full. It's not new moon. But what the moon does represent is timing, right? And everything happening in its own perfect timing. The moon doesn't try to be at any other time than it actually is, right? And so this is a symbol to honor your timing here. There's also an image of the man in the moon, which just keeps bringing me to this idea of children's books, children's stories. And so this is a call perhaps to tune in more to the inner child within, to let it out to play. I love the smoky images here we have around the moon too, almost like clouds that are kind of obscuring a little bit the image of the moon. And that can happen to us as well, where so the moon represents for us our hidden side, our secrets, our mysteries, also like just mysteries of life. And with these clouds, it's even obscuring them a little bit further, but just a little bit, right? They're not fully obscuring the image. They're more just kind of surrounding it. So it's also to tap into perhaps the theme of allowing the mystery to unfold. I'm suddenly reminded of Sarah McLachlan's song, Building a Mystery. That might be a song that you're singing lately or that you're listening to. I haven't thought of that song since my moon dance days back in the 90s. But yeah, that could be relevant to you right now, or perhaps there's a message for you in that song. So perhaps go ahead and YouTube it, or whatever way you listen to music. I'm seeing here an elephant's trunk, and it almost looks like it's spurting out water. Elephants are such loyal creatures. They are loyal, intelligent, playful, creative. They are really great mothers and community. So like they support all of the elephants in their community and even the humans. There's a beautiful story. It's a true story. Oh, and we just had a bit of movement here as I tapped the saucer. Things move and change. So that's a symbol that even the things that seem a bit stable in your life, that seem like they've been constant, can move and change. Allow that to happen. That's also like the moon. The moon goes through changes, phases. Allow these phases that are going on in your life. Some of you might be holding on a little too deeply, a little too much to things that have felt like they were your support, that they were your constant. And now even those are changing. But back to the story of the elephant. this true story from Thailand. When they had the tsunami back in 2002 or 2004, was it? The elephants knew way before the people. And the elephants actually started acting really strange. So strange that, in fact, the people thought they were going a little crazy because the elephants actually broke free from, how they were being held. And they started running up the mountains. And as they started running up the mountains, they actually started grabbing people with their trunks to carry them to safety. But of course, the people had no idea that the tsunami was coming. And they tried to resist the elephants. And again, they thought the elephants were going crazy. But luckily for the people that got carried away, they were actually rescued by these elephants. So there is some strange, I think I was being led to tell you that story because there's something happening to you right now, or is about to happen to you, or has just happened to you. Remember that there's so many people coming into these readings at different times. And because time is so fluid, it's different for each person watching this, but it's within this brief time frame though. So it either just happened, is happening now, or is really soon about to happen. Okay, but there's going to be something in your life that feels like it's a little crazy, right? That you're being pulled off somewhere where you don't want to go, where you're not going to understand why you're being taken off in this direction, but it's actually rescuing you. Okay, it's rescuing you here. I see a worm or a snake. Snakes can represent transformation. They can sometimes represent things we need to watch out for, but I think based on the other images in this cup, in this saucer, this snake is more a snake of transformation, of personal transformation, of shedding your skin. This is the time, right? The timing right now is allowing you to shed your skin, to really let yourself transform so much. It's like you become brand new. A version of yourself that even you don't know. Let yourself become a stranger to yourself in the best way possible, right? And so to help with that, like, let yourself wear new clothes. Let yourself try new hairstyles. Let yourself switch up your space, even the way like your living space. Let yourself do things you wouldn't normally do. Okay, that's going to be part of this shedding process. If it's a worm, worms you can like cut off, like you can cut them in half and they don't die. They grow again, the part that they're missing. And so there's a part of you that may feel like that if you cut something out of your life, you'll die. You'll feel like that, but you'll actually keep going. And you'll grow what it is you need to replace that part of you. Obviously not physically, okay? We are still human, living in a human body, but metaphorically. I see a rabbit. I see a rabbit. So something's going to happen really quickly. See, now this snake, this worm here has become the ears of the rabbit. Something's going to happen really quickly to you. Things can multiply quickly. This could be abundance of any form, abundance of money, abundance of friends, abundance of love. It can be physical abundance. Let yourself embrace this period of abundance right now. Expect it. Expect it. Instead of expecting things not to work out, expect them to work out. I'm seeing a lady here. Hold on a moment, please, collective. Yeah, I'm seeing a lady here with, she looks almost perhaps old with her long nose. She looks like she's crying. So this could be you. This could be someone in your life. But it's a time to let yourself grieve the things that didn't work out. Yeah. Yeah, let yourself grieve the things that didn't work out. With all of these changes happening right now, with this timing, with the shedding of the skin, it's like you really need to grieve the things that have changed in your life. Yes, this image of this old woman crying, she needs to honor her feelings. This is a sign not to suppress the feelings, not to try to hide from them, but to let the feelings flow. So this, again, could be a message for you to let yourself, even if you're not old, it's like the part of you that maybe feels old, let yourself cry. Let yourself feel the feelings, the regrets, the betrayals. And most importantly, if this is someone else, you're encouraged to notice them. Notice them and invite them to share. Sometimes we can be too quick to minimize other people's issues, or to try to, as even out of good intentions, to try to just make them feel better right away. But actually, this person really needs to be given permission to feel. I'm seeing this person now as a mermaid as well, a mermaid creature. And the mermaid, I'm thinking of the most famous one, our little mermaid who lost her voice. So these tears could also be a symbol of like things you haven't said, the words you didn't get to speak, the truths you haven't told, the authentic you that you've been suppressing and you're crying from it. This is your sign to go deep into the waters of your soul, the depths of your being, and let yourself acknowledge what it is you want. And begin to speak those truths into existence. I'm even like seeing this little thought bubble above her head. It's like, also, this is a symbol to watch out for the types of thoughts you're thinking that are keeping you stuck in sadness. Even though it's important to acknowledge our sadnesses and to feel the feelings, sometimes we can get a little too stuck there. So this is also your message to feel the feelings in a healthy way. So for example, write them out, speak them to a trusted friend, draw them, dance them, sing them, any form of communication we're getting, especially with this mermaid image. And then watch any thoughts though that are telling you to stay sad, right? Watch your self-talk. The things like those mean things we say to ourselves, like, I'll never be able to change. I'll never be able to get what I want. I'll never be able to do that. Those kind of thoughts. And instead, change the thinking. And I know that's easier said than done. It's a practice, okay? It's not just something you necessarily like choose to do. Like thoughts, we have these automatic thoughts that we don't choose, okay? But what we can choose is to recognize them and to notice when we're doing that, and then to practice another way of thinking. So then you need to replace those thoughts with like, oh, okay, it feels right now like I'll never be able to change, but I know that nothing is constant. I know I have changed in the past. I can do it again, right? Or give yourself the validation that you wish you could get from others. You know, I see that you're sad right now. So I like to call myself like little Shannon and big Shannon. And so when I'm talking to the part of me that's hurt, I'll be like, little Shannon, I see you. I see that you're hurt right now. I see that you're in pain. I see that you're angry. I see that you're sad, and you have every right to be sad and angry. And I'm here for you. We're going to get through this together. That may not resonate exactly for you, but try to find a new way to start talking to yourself in these moments. It's really important. This image here now looks to me like a sheep. Sheep follow the crowd. And I normally wouldn't recommend people to follow the crowd, but in this case, it's showing up. Perhaps you're following the crowd too much, and this is your warning to be true to yourself, be true to your own voice, and maybe that's why you're crying, right? You've been following the crowd too much, trying to blend in. Instead, let yourself be the black sheep, Let yourself be a little more unique and individual. But the thing I do like about sheep that I learned from the book The Alchemist, and that's coming up for a reason. Perhaps some of you are currently reading that, have just read it, or need to reread it again for some messages. But he talks about how smart the sheep are, how they recognize different faces. And so this is also a message that you're smarter than people give you credit for. Okay, you're way smarter than maybe even you give yourself credit for. The sheep's wool provides comfort, warmth. There's parts of you that provide a lot of warmth and comfort to others, and it's now time for you to give that back to yourself. Oh, there's so many images in this. There's a fire burning, I see. Yeah, this is an image here calling on you to find the things that will fuel your fire again. Especially when we're sad, instead of trying to accomplish a lot of things, instead you're being called to fuel your inner fire, to fuel the things that help you feel passionate about life, help you enjoy life. How can you enjoy life more? What are the little things you can do each day? It might be letting yourself have a yummy, delicious cup of coffee, letting yourself have a tiny little treat, letting yourself listen and dance to your favorite song alone in your kitchen, letting yourself wear soft, comfortable clothing, like the sheep's wool. What are some little things you can do to fuel your fire? Play some games, watch your favorite show. It's okay to do the things that make you feel good. All right, let's move on to the actual cup, because there's a lot going on here too. Wow. Well, the first thing I'm noticing is just that this we've got some images on the outside of the cup here. Yep, some images on the outside of the cup, and it looks to me like we've got some bats here, right on the edge of the cup. Bats have a bit of a bad rap. Yeah, bats have a bit of a bad rap as being these scary, evil creatures. But bats are really great protectors. They eat all the mosquitoes for us, right? And they are protecting us from insects and such. So I feel like on the outskirts of your life right now, because these bats are on the outside edge of the cup, you've got some really powerful protection coming in. And the fact that bats don't see very well, they actually listen, right? They know where they are by sound. I don't know the scientific term for that. Some of you can write that in the comments section for me, please. But that's a sign too that perhaps even sound itself, even if this isn't an outside source protecting you, but you have some special skills regarding sound that help you understand where you are in life. And perhaps that's coming through in so many different ways. It could actually come through in songs, in there's already been songs that have come up in this reading. So perhaps for you, it's like when you hear songs that you think are random, they're actually not random. They're messages from the divine helping you understand your place in the world right now. But you might even be like into sound healing, like these crystal bowls here in front of us, or you're being called to actually start using sound more to understand your place in the world. We also have a volcano erupting, and this is not the first time this has come through lately. So again, there's some deep, deep, deep inner angers needing to be expressed that are kind of bubbling out into the surface right now. This is your call to not only feel the sadness, but to let yourself feel the anger. Because suppressed sadness becomes anger. So this is really key again into letting yourself go into the feelings, into the sadnesses, the emotions. I see a little like dragon here with wings. The dragon is also crying. Dragon tears. Dragon tears. This is triple confirmation that it's really important right now for you to take more time to feel things out, to cry, to learn how to not tame your dragon. I mean, you might need to tame it a bit with this volcano, fiery anger, but more so to nourish the dragon within. See, you're a powerful being. You're powerful like a dragon. And sometimes you might even fear your own power. And part of that is emotional power. I'm getting the sense here that the people drawn to this reading are very emotionally powerful, and you might not feel that right now because of this sad state. You might actually feel like your feelings have been a weakness, but that's actually not true at all. Your feelings are your highest guidance system. And so it's time for you to nourish your dragon, to nurture your dragon, to take care of it, so that then you can learn how to fly it, because this is a winged dragon. I see a hand down here. The hand is spread out. It's like an open hand. There are people here in your life wanting to help support you. Many people don't accept help. They feel like they have to go it alone. This is your sign. No, you got to accept the help, accept the hand that's being reached out to you. Because if people want to help you, by you letting them, that is also a gift to them. Okay, so it's okay to accept help, support, gifts from other people. They want to give it to you right now. I'm also seeing a cross coming out of this hand. So this is also a sign that these hands, these offers of support are divinely inspired. They're being like sent to you from spirit. So there are things working out for you in the spirit realm. These could be like your ancestors. This could be your spirit guides, God, however you relate to the energy of spirit. This is divinely inspired. You could also be getting ideas, inspirations, flash inspirations that are here to help you. But the thing is, once you're given the help, you actually have to receive it. You have to take it. So make sure you're doing that. I see a little dog. I see a little dog here. We've got his nose, his eyes, the little ears, his little foot. Dog with a collar. He's like a little dog. You might have a dog in your life that is providing comfort and support. But even if you don't, dogs are a metaphor for friendship, for being loyal as well. I'm actually seeing several dogs now. Here's another dog up here. So oh my goodness, all of these little splashes now have become little dogs to me. So you've actually got multiple beings here who are supporting you, who are loyal to you. And if you don't feel that right now, this is your sign to actually start being on the lookout for people that are loyal, that are trustworthy, that are caring, right? Dogs' inherent nature is loving. It's only when they're not taken care of properly that they become aggressive or have wounds and traumas, right? But a dog's normal nature, its natural nature, is to be loving, trusting, and loyal. And so this is your time now. You have so many messages here of support. I think you already have these people in your life, or they're right about to break in, okay? You are able to trust the people around you. You've got some really good friends, coworkers, family members coming through right now. Let yourself receive their help. They want to help you. They want to be here for you. They want to help you in your sadness. Now, this doesn't mean to just blindly trust people, okay? I still want you to practice caution and to use your internal guidance system, to use your own intuition. But you can trust that there are people around you that are trustworthy. Dogs are also really playful, so this is a sign to make sure you are taking time to play. And if you don't know how to play, like, I want you to make a list of like the things you loved doing as a child and start letting yourself do those things again. Yeah. Well, this is some beautiful stuff here, collective. Okay, this reading has gone on quite a bit longer than I expected. I thought this was going to be a real quick one. So thank you for staying with me, those of you who have stuck here to the end. Let's go ahead and do a little recap of all of this. Oh, right. Sorry, we actually started with the saucer. I was like, what am I forgetting here? Okay, so here we go. The moon. The moon governs your intuition, emotion, dreams, the divine feminine, cycles. And when partially obscured by clouds, it symbolizes the mystery within the mystery. Okay, what you're not yet ready to fully see, but you're circling closer to. So you don't need to rush to clarity, okay? Trust your emotional timing here and let your path be guided by cycles, not pressure. This man in the moon and these children's imagery, you've got like some inner child stuff going on here, wonder, innocence, storytelling, and this reminds you to reconnect with what once brought you joy, even if it feels far away now. Joy is always available to you, always, even in the midst of uncertainty. So let yourself play. It's time to return to the magic of before. Now, this elephant trunk with the water, this is memory. This is like maternal strength, ancestral protection. Water connects us to emotion. And spouting water is emotional release. Yeah, that message is coming through stronger this time. Water is that emotional release. So just like the elephants of Thailand, that story I told about the tsunami, your intuition right now knows something before your logic does. So trust your gut, especially when it makes no sense to your mind. A redirection, though confusing, could be your soul's rescue plan. Now this snake, this worm over here, we're shedding old skin. We're facing fear. We're embracing personal evolution. you're with the worm, you're thinking of like regeneration, right? We're talking about composting the old into fertile ground. I'm learning Spanish right now. Just a little side note. I'm learning Spanish right now, so sometimes I put the emphasis on weird words, weird syllables. Composting. Even in English, it's been changing the way I speak English. But sorry, back to this. So your message is like, this is your phoenix phase, you know? Parts of your identity, habits, or even relationships might be dissolving right now. But what grows in their place is stronger and more soul aligned. Now, the rabbit we're seeing, all about speed, fertility, and unexpected abundance. We've got fast movement at this time, intuitive leaps, creative fertility. And yeah, something is coming in fast, my friends. An opportunity, a breakthrough, or some new connection. Be ready. Say yes to life. Say yes to possibility. And I guess before we leave this, I'm also suggesting that perhaps you do some sort of moon ritual. This moon is just so clear. It's the most powerful message in this cup. And so it's perhaps time to do a moon ritual, okay? At any phase. You don't have to wait for the full moon or the new moon. You can actually do it at any time, but just honor the energies of the current moon's phase. Okay, and let's move on now. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I did forget about this woman crying. How could I forget about the woman crying? The old woman weeping is not just one woman. She's the crone, the elder, the wise one within you who has seen like thousands of lifetimes of suppression and silence. And she might be part of you now. She might be an ancestral presence visiting this reading. But the message is like, you don't have to hold it all in anymore. You know, I'm getting the message, tears are sacred water. And this image calls for a cleansing, a sacred release. In myth, grandmothers are like the keepers of memory, right? And their grief spans generations. So if she's showing up now, it's a sign that you're being asked to feel not just your pain, but possibly some that was like passed down to you. Yeah. But it's being passed down to you so you can break the chain, okay? It's not being passed down to you as a punishment. It's not a curse. Like that's what sometimes these stories tell us. No, the reason we get passed down generational traumas is so that we can be the ones to break the chain, so that we can be the ones to make the change. Now, because this woman's also a mermaid, like this is even more archetypal overlay, you know? The mermaid is like the siren, the soulful feminine. You know, she's deep feeling. She's a deep hearing creature as well, because in losing her voice, this little mermaid gave up her soul expression in exchange for surface love. Oh my goodness, yes. How could I have forgotten that part, that exchange she gave up? So it's like you're being asked right now to question, what are you exchanging in order to be loved and accepted? What part of you have you quieted? You know, what part of your truth are you suppressing yourself? And what part of you still believes that you need to trade your voice for belonging? You don't need to lose your voice anymore. This is your call to reclaim it. And this thought bubble, yeah, this literal symbol of mental loop, the inner monologue that can just reinforce our sadnesses. It's not about denying sadness, but noticing when thoughts become anchors rather than bridges. Yeah. So right now,
It might feel like you can't change, but remember that everything changes. Tell yourself, I know I've grown before and I can grow again. And the sheep. Yes, this multi-layered symbol. We got a warning against conformity, but sheep also have wisdom. The sheep might be simple, but they're not stupid. You know, they sense things others don't. So if you've been following the crowd, perhaps it's not that you've been weak, but that your intuitive nature has been, just overridden a bit by logic, fear, or people pleasing. Now is your call to be the black sheep, the rebel, the one who feels deeply and still chooses differently. And the comfort and warmth you offer, just like the wool of the sheep, this is your superpower. And now you're being asked to give it to yourself. Yeah, the fire that's in here is simply representing the fire of transformation. It is sacred fuel, right there, the sacred fuel. So this image is calling you not to be productive, but to stoke your inner joy. Ask yourself what lights you up. What tiny pleasures can you give yourself permission to feel? And where can you re-enchant the ordinary? So create some soft spaces for yourself. Wear something cozy. Play your favorite song, light a candle and speak to your inner child aloud. I see you. I know it hurts. I'm here and I'm listening. Let yourself cry, sing, or write what you've never said before. And maybe use the affirmation, I don't need to follow the crowd. I don't need to hide my fears. I don't need to hide my tears. I can feel and still rise. I can rise and still sing. I am soft and I am strong. Okay, this is a long one, my friends, but these are some deep, deep messages. So here we go. The bats that were coming in. The bats, again, a little summary here. The bats, the protectors of the nights. These bats get a bad rap, but these winged guardians are keepers of the liminal. They dwell in the in-between light and dark, seen and unseen. And here they show up not as predators, but as protectors. You might feel like you can't see where you're going, but just like bats can navigate through sound, you can hear your way through. You're being called to listen deeply to the sounds of your environment. To synchronicities, to the lyrics of random songs, and to the sound of, your own soul. And if you're already on the path of sound healing, this is a powerful affirmation that you're tuned in. And if you're new to it, this is an initiation. And if you're brand new to it or just thinking about it, this is your invitation. Your path may be guided not by sight, but by resonance. Now this volcano, anger at the core, this image is pulsing with urgency. The volcano has been showing up again and again. This isn't a coincidence, okay? So this is emotional like lava, the kind that has been buried for too long. You may have mistaken your tears as weakness, but tears are the water that soften like the molten core. This volcano says, don't fear your anger. Understand it. Channel it even. Release it. Anger is often pain with nowhere to go, right? Anger is sadness with nowhere to go. So you gotta let it move. This crying dragon. The dragon is your power animal here. Yeah, your power animal here. In myth, dragons guard treasures. Oh, yeah. They're telling me right now that this didn't come up before, but they're giving me this message now. In myth, dragons guard treasures. But in this case, the treasure is you. This dragon cries because it's been misunderstood, maybe even feared by you. But make no mistake, this is your emotional intelligence, manifesting a sacred fire. This dragon doesn't need to be slayed or even tamed, right? It needs to be nourished. So take care of your inner dragon. Let it cry, let it rest. Feed it with music, expression, movement. When your emotional body is honored, this dragon will fly and you'll rise with it. The outstretched hand. The outstretched hand with the cross. This image is like a turning point. This open hand says help is being offered. And the cross says the help is sacred. So whether it's through people, dreams, intuition, or sudden inspiration, support is here. But here's the key. You got to choose to receive it. We often block help because we've been hurt, right? But this reading says now is the time to trust again. Let the divine reach you through the hands of others. Now, all these dogs, these little companions of loyalty and joy, they're showing up in full force. You know, this is like a celebration. And these little loyal spirits are here to walk beside you. Again, this wasn't here before, but it's coming up now. In Celtic and Norse mythology, dogs were actually guardians between realms. And in modern life, right, there are emotional anchors. So if you're feeling alone, know this, your pack is nearby. And some of them are real human beings in human form, and others are your ancestors, right? Got those guardians between the realms. New friendships, loyal companions, and loving presences are surrounding you. Even if you haven't met them yet, they're on their way. And just like dogs don't need a reason to roll in the grass or wag their tails, you don't either, so don't forget to play, okay? Your healing doesn't have to be all shadow. Let in some light. So, you are surrounded, my friends, by unseen guardians. And your voice is returning. Your anger is sacred. Your dragon is rising. Help is here. Open your hand and receive it. And when you feel like you can't see the path forward, listen. The sound will lead you home. Well, my friends, that was a powerful read. Thank you so much for joining me. If this resonated with you, I'd love it if you would like this reading, comment on this reading, subscribe to my channel. And if you're looking for a personal, details in the description below. Thank you so much. Blessed be and big love.